Okay, so one thing I wanted to talk to you about is that some businesses prepare what are called supporting schedules. A supporting schedule is sometimes referred to as like an exhibit or supplementary report. So this company that was the example, they might prepare a schedule of accounts payable and a schedule of accounts receivable because the balance sheet only shows you the only accounts payable total. And sometimes they want to know who do we owe and how many vendors do we owe, that kind of thing. So that'll show how many vendors we owe, what the balances are, and then the total. The total of the accounts payable schedule should equal the controlling accounts payable, and it contains all the subsidiary ledger accounts and how many vendors that we owe. Same thing for accounts receivable. You might have a accounts receivable schedule of accounts receivable, list everybody that owes you money, and then the total should equal the controlling account. Okay, so the next step is doing recording closing entries for an income statement account and preparing yourself for the next fiscal period. Now, in the automated accounting, it does it for you. You just have to tell it to control, to close. So I'm not going to make you do this manually. We're just going to go over it. So we'll talk about got two things, same things open. Hold on. Let me go back in here. So you close what I taught you in accounting one, the close your accounts and dies going backwards. So revenue, S stands for sales or revenue accounts. Basically income statement credit accounts, that's what you want to think about. And then you close your expense accounts and all of those. Those are called, all your temporary accounts are called nominal accounts, like revenue, expenses, dividends. Those are all nominal accounts. As you get more accounts that are not just revenue and expenses, I want you to think of it as closing first your revenue accounts, but your income statement credit accounts you'll close first. Then you'll close your income statement debit accounts. So I'm going to show you that here. So you do this from your adjusted trial balance accounts because these are after you've done your adjustments, and you're going to close your accounts with that being said. Okay, so you do closing entries, and then it would be like December 31st. You're journalizing these. So I'm going to go ahead and grade this because I want to just talk to you about them. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll close your sales. Sales normally has a credit balance, so you're going to debit it. So all your income statement credit columns you would debit, and then the credit would go to income summary. Remember, income summary is an account you use for closing. It doesn't have a normal balance side, you use it to close your accounts. So look at your income statement credit column. You've got your sales returns. You're not closing your inventory. That's not a nominal account, right? So we're looking over here, your sales returns you're going to close. This is a permanent account. We're not dealing with inventory. Your purchases you're going to close. Your purchase returns and allowances. The purchases discount you're going to close. So you're going to look at your adjusted trial balance here. We're going to go down to assets, liability, and equity are on your balance sheet, right? So we don't do anything with them. We're not doing anything with income summary. So we're going to close sales discount, sales returns, and purchases. Purchases discount, purchase returns. Okay. So let's take a look at those on the closing entry. Sales, purchases discount, purchase returns, interest income are all credit normal balances, so you're going to debit them and credit the total to income summary. That's your first step. Think about the account, whether it's temporary or permanent, if it's on the income statement. Okay, so then you're going to close anything that would be income statement debit. So I'm going to go down here and let's look at these. Okay, so then you would leave this one blank if you were doing it manually, okay, because you don't know the total till you do it. Then you would close all the debit, the ones that are temporary accounts that have debit. So in this case, sales discount, sales returns, purchases has a debit balance, so you're going to close that with the credit. All the expense accounts have debit balances, so you're going to credit those, and federal income tax expense. Then you would total these. The debit would go to income summary as a total. Okay, so then you're gonna, like the die is going backwards, close revenue, which are all the credits, right? Then you would close all the debits, which are your expenses and other things. And then you would update your net income or net loss to your equity account, right? So you would go to your income statement after federal income tax, and we made $73,148.80. Okay, so we already calculated the statement of stockholders' equity, right? We already calculated our new retained earnings balance, right? So we had a net increase right here. But right now our retained earnings balance shows this balance, right? So what we need to do when we close it is credit our retained earnings account with our updated amount, right? So this is our net income. We already closed dividend. We're going to close dividends later. So we're just going to, our net income after federal income tax is this. Okay, so what you're going to do is debit income summary, credit retained earnings with your net income after federal income tax. And that will update our retained earnings to be our new retained earnings after we post it. So then the last step is to close your dividends account, which is your drawing, the D and dies. So we're going to look at your balance of dividends. You look at, you get it from various places, but you can get it from your adjusted trial balance, right, of 12,000. So then you would, in this case, that goes directly to your retained earnings account. So you would debit retained earnings and credit dividends. And that would update then after you post it your retained earnings account. Okay, so I'm going to go into the next section. So you've journalized your closing entries to get you ready for the next fiscal period. And then you need to post those accounts. You need to post them, and then it updates those accounts. Then your retained earnings is what it shows at the end on your statement of stockholders' equity. All your nominal or temporary accounts are closed. You're ready to start the next fiscal period. Before you do, though, you should do a post-closing trial balance, which if you're doing automated, you can just click on it, make sure it all equals. But then you want to, the only accounts that are left now, after you close your accounts, is your assets, your liabilities, and your equity accounts, capital stock, retained earnings. So you would put those balances and make sure your debits equal credits. Oops, click. Click on done here. So I can show you here what that looks like. Okay, so your statement or your post-closing trial balance is just the date, the name of the company, and then your total should equal after your nominal accounts are closed or your temporary accounts are closed. I'm going to go back to 16.4 because I didn't really show you what those accounts look like after posting. Okay, so basically it did our closing entries, but it didn't have us posted in here. But after posting your closing entries, then only your temporary accounts are still open. And once you post these closing entries, then your retained earnings will be 76,432.20 because you added your net income and you closed your dividends, and that would update your retained earnings with your new balance.